So what are the Orioles getting out of John Mabry as the senior advisor to their major league staff? You're looking at a guy who's a career .263 hitter in the major leagues, and across 8 seasons in St. Louis, hit .281. Now, John's been around the big league game as a player and a coach. He went back and coached in St. Louis, he coached in Kansas City, and most recently was coaching in the Miami Marlins. What can we expect his presence to bring the Orioles here? I look at John to probably advise, so to say, the hitting coaches. And what I noticed, first thing, so he was an assistant hitting coach in 23 in Miami, and then he was the hitting coach who got fired with Skip Schumacher in 24. John brings a unique outlook to the game. He's a first ball hitter. He wants to be aggressive early in the count. Showed in his career. When John attacked the first pitch of an at-bat in his career, he was a .385 hitter across 500 at-bats. Something I really find interesting too, and something the Orioles struggle with. John was a .285 hitter in his career against finesse pitchers, guys that kind of flip curveballs in there and the new age sweepers and whatnot. What do the Orioles struggle with the most? Finesse type pitching. They still get beat on some fastballs and whatnot, but these guys are young enough to make those adjustments on their own. 2023, John Mabry was an assistant hitting coach for the Miami Marlins, and some things stuck out to me. Now, they had a very low K rate. They were actually ranked 27th in baseball with a 21.3% K rate. They also had a very low walk rate at 7.1%, which is down around below 25th. Runners in scoring position, it was okay. It was okay. Nothing to really write home about. It was around 253. Decent, right? Better than what the Orioles are doing. What I want to touch on early in the count here, John preaches, get your fastball early, get your pitch early. He's a middle of the field kind of guy. When I look back at these stats here in 23 and 24, Miami hit the ball middle of the field over 55% of the time. Now, that's the biggest part of the ballpark. Some might agree that's probably not the best approach, but it also makes you, one, not pull off on the ball, trying to pull off on an outside pitch, blow open on an inside pitch, all these other things. Staying in the middle of the field is generally considered one of the most balanced things you can do in the box. And again, I'm going to touch on why I think he's an aggressive hitter, and I think he's going to get the Orioles back to being aggressive. Now, last year, we had some debates a lot of times with the Orioles swinging too often early in the count. Well, I'm here to tell you that in 23 and 24, the Miami Marlins seen the fewest pitches per plate appearance in all of baseball. Now, right now, the Orioles are leading the league right now in the most pitches per plate appearance. So John's going to get them back to being aggressive early in the count. 23, the Marlins were the third highest team in baseball when it came to first pitch swinging percentage. You know what they were in 2024? First. Again, this guy preaches being aggressive early in the count. In 2023, they were a top 5 team in contact rate with balls in the strike zone. Right now, the Orioles are below 60%. Those Marlins teams were above 70. So imagine this Orioles team making more contact with balls in the zone by 10% more a game. Could be the difference in some more runs. The last thing that stuck out at me is in 23 and 24, they led the National League in the amount of swings at strikes. So they were swinging at strikes over 77% of the time. I think that right now, this Orioles team does not have an identity at the plate. Sometimes they look for the ball too often, try to work counts too often. They let fastballs down the middle go too early, or sometimes they just swing too early. They don't really have a true identity. John's going to come in and bring a true identity to this offense. Look for your pitch early in the count. Look to drive it up the middle, hit the ball hard. These are just, they sound like normal basic hitting approaches, right? We just haven't seen it yet. So, I mean, some knocks that I did find on John was in 2023, the Marlins basically almost set a National League record for the most ground ball double plays hit into. Now, why I'm not that worried about that, the difference in quality of players from 23 and 24 in Miami to what we have right now when guys are healthy is significant. I feel like the Orioles roster is much, much suited better for John's style of coaching than it was in Miami. Hence probably why he got fired with Skip Schumacher. But I'm excited, right? We've all been kind of banging the table a little bit for a different change. Cody Ashley wasn't that much different from the 2 coaches prior. They were getting a little bit more out of the offense. So to bring in a fresh mind who might, I don't want to say change up everything, but just give you an identity and give you a little bit more aggression at the plate, could really propel these young guys. What do you guys think?